Hey, what's happening? Mike Schmidt, 40-Year-Old Boy podcast. I'll be honest with you, it's a little weird doing this because there are guys just outside at the door here, and like I said, we've got rice paper walls in fucking Japan. And this is, oh, by the way, this is a 40-Year-Old Boy mini-sode. I'm not sure how mini the sode is just yet as I'm still talking, but I can tell you this, you know it doesn't help it be mini? When I just start spinning off and talking about fucking nothing like I'm doing right now. Laser-like focus is what we need for the mini-sode, folks. But like I said, it's a little strange for me because I've got like all of these Kuwaiti nationals in the other room, and they can hear me. They're listening through the door. They're listening through the wall. I'm sure they've got glasses up there, very much like Mrs. Roper as they try to listen to what I say. They're wondering if I'm going to jack tripper my way through this motherfucking thing. They're waiting for Chrissy to run out, and possibly even a Joyce DeWitt, who, as we all know, is beloved by a Johnny Carson and got tagged in the Aspire. Or no, well, no, actually, she didn't peg him. Hold it, wait a minute, I just flipped that. I flipped the script on that there. I got Joyce DeWitt pegging Johnny Carson. Earlier, I thought it was just Johnny Carson pegging a Joyce DeWitt. At least that's the legendary Hollywood showbiz story I've heard from my legendary Hollywood showbiz friends. However, I just flipped it, and I got Joyce DeWitt tagging Johnny Carson in the keister as he goes down on his wife Joanna. I got a three-way. That's right. I bring Joanna into it. You know, Carson, I don't know if he was a three-way guy, but all those guys were. Those Rat Pack dudes were. Forget about it. Those Rat Pack dudes were constantly like, you know, face first in the mush, and then they got a cock in something and two fingers going at the same time on two other ladies' boxes. It's a grim sight to think of the Rat Pack. Every single one of them, there's what, 7 guys in it? So that's mouth, 2 hands, and a cock. So that's 28 chicks getting worked by the Rat Pack at once. Holy fuck. I'll tell you what, that's almost, that's a ladies softball team, a ladies basketball team, and I'm going to say the cheerleading squad. I'm going to say all of them because there's probably 14 cheerleaders, probably 12 softball ladies. That's 26. And then what, only leave 2 for the hoop team? No, that's you know, 3 fouled out. I got to be honest. 3 of the women's basketball team fouled out, and the Rat Pack couldn't work them. Or maybe we just put a couple extra guys in the Rat Pack, you know, because we don't want these ladies just being unworked by the Rat Pack. Fuck you. Let's talk about Japan. All right, so here's the thing. It's a mini-sode. I promise you it's that. And the Kuwaitis, by the way, had just left. I heard them slam the door because they can't believe that I fucking decided the Rat Pack would fuck 28 chicks in this show. Folks, let's talk about day 1. You know, I've been here for 4 days, and I said I was going to do these mini-sodes every day. But I did say yesterday there would not be one because I was going to be in Kyoto all day. And guess what I did? I spent the entire day in Kyoto. I was in Kyoto all day yesterday. Wait till you hear about that in a week as I catch up. But on this particular mini-sode, we're going to talk about day 1 in Japan. Day 1.5, because I told you, oh, Jesus Christ, I can't even fucking talk. The other day, I told you about when I arrived in town, and the other day, this is just so fucking stupid. You know, this is like, it's like if I'm reading you a bedtime story now, because, you know, doing the show once a week, that's a different thing. Then we catch up, I live a life, and everybody does that. Well, I've been living fucking crazy amounts of life while I'm here. My Fitbit has exploded, my feet are full of bees. It's just fucking, you think my head is full of bees. My feet are just constantly vibrating. I think my ankles have swollen. I look like fucking B.B. Arthur. B.B. Arthur? I don't know if you know what that is. Oh, what a legendary blues performer, B.B. Arthur. And, you know, God is going to get you for that. John Coltrane used to say that all the time at a concert. I don't know why John Coltrane and his jazz meant B.B. Arthur, but why not? And Howie Blake, Jesus. It's late, and I've been out all fucking day. But I can't tell you about today unless I tell you about day 1, right? On this mini-sode of maxi importance. Day 1, we landed, and we walked all over town, and I told you we found our place. And we were a little jet-lagged. All of us were a little jet-lagged. So we decided, you know what? Our first real day in Japan, we were going to stay close to home. We didn't have a lot of, because we got 2 weeks here. And I will say this. In the beginning of the trip, it's daunting because you think to yourself, fuck, man, we've got 2 weeks. That's a really long time to be in country. I mean, we're going to be, maybe by day 10, you're going to be like, what the fuck do we do now? I got news for you. That's not the fucking case. That is absolutely not it. Right now, because I'm probably this day 5, because I'm recording this on Saturday night in Japan. So by the time you guys get this, it'll be, I think it's Saturday morning, but we're 17 hours ahead of you. So I don't even want to look at the fucking clock. What am I going to do? Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck about what time it is? Here's what time it is, duh. I'm like a chick you used to fucking call. Remember when you used to call to get the time? What the fuck was that all about? Who thought that was a good idea? You know who's against it? I just picture the fierce battle between the guys who sell clocks and the fucking phone company saying, no, call us to find out what time it is. Just buy a fucking clock. All the clock guys are like, fuck you, buy a clock. And the phone company's like, no, call us. It's a toll call. We'll get money. And then, of course, all the phone people and then the clock people meet in the parking lot with switchblades. They have a huge fight. Jets and Sharks. AT&T and GE. It's an initial battle. It was the initial battle of initials. The first battle was a rough one. All right, and just like the first day was a rough one. Look how I tied it back into Japan. No, I didn't really. Although Japan invented clocks. And knives and fights in parking lots. However, Japan did not invent the phone call where you call up and find out what fucking time it is because they knew, motherfucker. They said, look at a clock. That's all you got to do. Yeah, what time is it? I don't know. Make a phone call. What a world we had. Gee, I think it's falling apart now. Think of the fucking leaps and bounds we have. Now I have a watch on my arm that tells me what time it is all the goddamn time. But I thought men had watches back then anyway. Didn't they have pocket watches? Guys have whipped those out and take a look. And so who the fuck in their right mind? Because we did it as kids. We did it like we got to get the true time. And who the fuck knows if that chick knew what time it was? You call her up, it's a recording, it's a fucking robot. They could have lied. Because as we've learned, as Hollywood has told us since then, robots are all about conquering us. So what the fuck? What if we're like, yeah, I got to be at work at 8 a.m. What time is it? Oh, it's only 6 a.m. Thanks, phone call. Hang up, and the robot laughs because you lose your fucking job. And then you lose your morale and you're easier to conquer. Robots invented the fucking phone call time thing. That's them. And that's all robots did. That's when they stopped their evolution. They said, you know what? Let's fool them with the phone call clock trick. And then when that didn't destroy us as a civilization, they went, you know what? Just end the fucking thing. Let them buy clocks. Buy us. Let them buy more of us. That way we'll be positioned in there. Just stop. I'm stopping myself now. I talked about the blob for an hour the other day. Now I'm fucking talking about clocks and fights and Japanese. It's time to breathe. It's time to take it down a notch. Because you know what? I'm trying to cram everything I can into a mini-sode. I said to myself, you know what? Are you going to do these mini-sodes? And this made me laugh. I don't remember who it was, but someone wrote me, goes, I'm really looking forward to hearing all of your stories from Japan. I love the idea of you doing these little mini shows. Try to keep it to 15 to 20 minutes. Oh, well, thank you. I'm glad that I'm here to go on your schedule. But in reality, I should be. Like, I just thought about, I wanted you to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just earlier today, I streamed a YouTube thing for the first time. I did a live stream on YouTube, and then I tried to hook it up to Instagram, and you know me, I'm trying to make this my job. So then I'm sitting there trying to enjoy sushi with my friends from Kuwait, and I'm trying to record 5 different things on 6 different social media sites. There's not enough reception in Japan. By the way, tons of internet all over the place in Japan. The coverage is amazing, except where I had sushi. But I will tell you about that 5 days from now when I get to day 5, because that's how I'm doing this schedule. That's incorrect. But in this particular mini-sode, which is already fucking a misnomer, we'll talk about day 1. We were jet lagged the first day. We said, let's stay close to home. And like I said, it was daunting because you figure you're here for 2 weeks and you're going to run out of shit to do. And you realize you could spend 2 weeks in Tokyo and not do 1% of the stuff there is to do in fucking Tokyo. I mean, I can't. This country is a land of wonders. And it's like saying if you went to, because I mean, part of me thinks if you went to America for 2 weeks, you would have to spend New York and Los Angeles, and then you'd probably think about Vegas, and then you'd want to go to Chicago, and you want to go to the high points and stuff, but you'd still miss Seattle. You'd miss flyover country. You'd miss Florida. I mean, there's a ton of shit to do. When we were home, we just think, it's America, whatever. We could just do it because we've done it. But I come here, this is all, forgive the phrase, foreign to me. So I don't have any fucking clue what is here. And I thought to myself, again, 2 weeks, well, we got to do this, we got to do that. We're going to be running around. We're doing all these different things. And I'm like, maybe I'll get it all done. No, I'm never going to get it done. I'm never going to get it done. I had a list of things that I really wanted to do. Some of them are still on the agenda. Some of them are still, they may have gone into the ether. Who knows? But let's talk about day 1 on this mini-sode that was supposed to be 15 to 20 minutes, according to the guy who wrote me, and now it's at fucking 10. Or what is it, 9? I can't see the blue things. I'm sitting in a bed. I'm recording in a bed, and I got the heat cranked up in this room. It's weird. I got it like on 30 degrees Celsius, which, as you all know, is like 90 degrees Fahrenheit. And I don't know why I did that. Because you know why? Because it's chilly. But not chilly enough that I could justify making this room a fucking sauna, especially when fucking Abdullah Muhammad got to come in here and sleep with me later. So they're going to walk in and just fucking melt and be pissed. They won't be pissed. These guys are the most easygoing dudes ever. They could not be nicer or cooler. They are just genuinely, although they have secrets. I will tell you this. Muhammad is a guy, like I think I told you this on the last show. He's got a kid and he's married. Like I had no fucking clue he's married. Not only that, his fucking friends haven't met his wife. What an odd thing. And not that I'm hanging out with my friends' wives, but you meet them eventually. You go to a party or you play some fucking Cards Against Humanity and you realize she hates you. Eventually that sort of shit happens. But it just, Muhammad was looking at baby pictures and they were his baby. And Abdullah's the godfather, but yet has not met the wife. I will never understand it as long as I live, but I don't have to because these are easygoing, cool motherfuckers who are just really nice to me and accept me for what I am. Like if I got to fucking slow down a little bit, or if I got to fucking sit down in the subway, or if I got to fucking run here or go there or stop and take a picture, they're like, okay, yeah, no problem. Nobody here gets mad. It's amazing to me. I don't know how these fucking guys don't get mad. I guess they don't have to. They have awesome lives and they're friends. And they're only 27. When they're 50, well, and they'll be grouches then, and then they'll be hanging around with me, and I'll be 73. Holy shit! Can you imagine hanging out with 73-year-old me walking around Japan as I try to take more photos? Oh fuck! Hey, guess what? Let's talk about Japan. So we thought we'd stay close to home the first day, and we wanted to, because you want to figure out where you're at. You want to figure out where the subway is and things like that, and how to run things. Because Mike Siegel he hosts the Travel Tales podcast. If you don't listen, you should, because it's brilliant. He has his particular take on all the places all over the world that he's traveled to, and he's still traveling all the time. And he's just fun to talk to. He's funny. He's a good presence. That's important. But Travel Tales is a great show. I was lucky enough to do it when I was in Kuwait. So, which was really nice of Mike to have me on. But go listen to his podcast. So he wrote me and he's like, you got to figure out the subways. That's kind of a big deal. So I was prepared for that. But like I said, Ahmad is the dad of the trip. Like, he's planning everything. He's got everything all squared away. He's got an itinerary. I got a list of shit I want to do, and I sent it off to him. I fired it off. And I think he kept it all under advisement. But, I'll just wake up and look at him and go, what's the thing today? What are we doing today? Where are we going today? And he has it all locked and loaded. So we wanted to figure out the subway, and this is funny. There's a subway right close to Kuramai. Subway station is very close to where we live or where we're staying. Kuramai. So we walk down to Kuramai. We get down in there, and we got to gas up some passes now. We got to go ahead and get the Passmo. We got to get some subway passes. First, we were like, well, let's buy a 24-hour subway thing before we buy the Passmo, just in case. We got to figure out. We got to get the lay of the land here. And so the 24-hour one will let us go from here to there, Kuramai to Shigeyashi to Shihubashi to Akabanusa. Or Akanabusa. I'm not sure what it is, but I recognize it when I see it. But as we went downstairs to catch a train, there's a screen, look up, one of the trains is delayed, one of the trains accident. And I'm like, oh man, that's kind of really fucking weird. Our first time here going to use the subways and there's a delay and an accident. And then Ahmad pointed out to me, it's a big country and those are not our trains. Because again, like I said, I don't ride the subway a lot. But I guess I thought the screen was specifically there to tell me exactly what the fuck to do about my train. Well, no. What that is, and I remembered it because it happens in New York as well. Like even if you're in Brooklyn or something and it's like the A train is wrecked in Queens, it will tell you that because it's going to affect everything along the way anyway. So that's what it did in Japan. It was telling us there was a delay somewhere and an accident somewhere along the rail line in the country. It had nothing to do with the trains we were catching, so I was assuaged by the guys. We got our 24-hour passes. We hopped on the subway. We rolled it down to, and we, again, like I said, it was more of a maiden voyage just to kind of see what the fuck was going on and where we could go. And we only went just a couple of miles, and then we emerged in. Christ, names are going to fail me. It was in a shopping center. We're still in, obviously we're in Tokyo. If I'm out of Tokyo, I'll tell you, but we're still in Tokyo. We get out and the guys, I didn't know this. They were hungry and we were going to eat and they were going to find kebabs, which I thought was odd because I'm in Japan, but they have to keep halal. So that means they eat seafood or they find meat that is halal, and it's very difficult to find halal places. It's not really very difficult. They have them in Japan, but you have to specifically look for them and locate them. So there happens to be a halal kebab place close to us. So they're like, well, let's go there for lunch. So we showed up, and it was so funny. There's like, 4 other Muslim people there, 2 people in hijabs, and they're waiting on their kebabs. And it looks like a kebab joint that I found in Kuwait or that you would see in America. But thankfully for me, because, and I could have walked away and done what I wanted, but it was the first day. I didn't want to be that dick. It's like the first thing we do, we take the subway, we head down, and they're going to go for kebabs. I'm going to go, fuck you guys. I'm going to go find a trout head. You know what I mean? I don't want to be that jag-off. But instead, I was very lucky because Ahmad was like, why are we eating kebabs? I can't. I'm not. It's not happening the first day. So he's very adventurous like me, and he's traveled a lot more than I have. Like I said, fucking Ahmad's been to Ecuador and all sorts of bullshit. And regular Abdullah is like, all right, man, like I'm with you guys. So, of course, it's our first day, and Ahmad is like, well, let's find some sushi. Now, I should tell you this. I thought there would be sushi all over the place in Japan, like tons and tons of places on every corner. That is not correct. There is a lot of sushi here, But the main thing you find all over the place are noodle shops. I told you we had curry and noodles the first night, and then there's places that have ramen, there are places that have udon, there's places that just have soba noodles. But there are noodle houses there's 3 noodle houses on every block. I mean, it is fucking insane. There's mini marts, there's 7-Elevens. By the way, there are 7-Elevens. It says 7-Eleven on the door, but then you look at the sign and it says 7-I and Holdings or some bullshit like that. And they also sell real food in 7-Eleven. Not only a bunch of hot food, but then they have like sandwiches, but also entrees that you can cook, and then they have leggings. Like it's like I would say that the 7-Eleven here is the equivalent of Target, but much smaller. It's the size of a normal 7-Eleven, but they sell all the stuff you'd find in a Target. So like if you want edamame and like a lawnmower blade, that's where you go. It's almost like a mini Meijer. So we wound up looking for a place to go and eat, and he put in sushi in his phone. Because like I said, I thought we'd be running into them all over the place, but you got to kind of hunt a little bit, because unless you want fucking noodles, which are fucking everywhere, you need to look. So sushi, he put in local sushi. So we start walking. We walk by the KFC. We walk by the Burger King, and that was where I saw the shrimp cocktail Whopper lurking. It was sold out, by the way. It had a sign that said sold out, which made me laugh. But we're looking, so we wind up in this outdoor shopping area. And there are stores, and it's the equivalent of, in Los Angeles, the 3rd Street Promenade, if you're from there. It's the equivalent of if you have any open-air market in your town. In Chicago, almost like, I would say, is it Taylor Street, where we would go to get the pork chop sandwiches? I think so. So it's like that, where you walk by, but it's a little fancier than fucking Taylor Street, all right? But it is a kind of thing where, because again, we get there's another fucking kebab house, first of all, but we walk down and there's shops, and they're selling tchotchkes. They're selling, and the guys wanted coin purses too, because you get all these fucking coins here. But there's clothing shops and regular shops and Japanese places selling personalized chopsticks, which fucking cracked me up. I love the idea of it's like if back home when we were kids you used to carry a rake comb, like with that big handle. It's like if you had your name put on the handle of your comb so nobody could steal your fucking comb. I mean, there's chopsticks all over this goddamn country, so much so that when you sit down to eat somewhere, noodle joint or whatever, there's a pile, like there's chopsticks, not only wooden ones that are disposable, but some places have like plastic ones that they wash and they bring back out like a fork or spoon. So it just made me laugh that you would buy personalized chopsticks and like slide them into your suit pocket and sit down and be like, haha. Like if somebody goes to hand you chopsticks, like, no, my good man. Slide out your personalized monogram fucking chopsticks. That's bad. All right, let's be honest. That is a fucking dumb thing I would do. I would want to definitely go ahead and have fucking personalized chopsticks. If I lived here especially, holy fuck, that's all I'd do. And not only that, I'd have like 10 pairs, so I never was without them. They would be in the car, they'd be in my suits, they'd be all over the place. By the way, if I lived here, I'd wear suits. Apparently I've created myself an alternate businessman who lives in Asia. An alter ego businessman. So we're searching for this sushi joint. We're in this shopping center, and we can't find it. And he's like, it should be right here. We don't know where it is. Because again, Google does that thing where you walk. I will say this: Google Maps. I don't know how anybody in the fucking world found anything before Google Maps. I don't know how you would come to a city like Tokyo you've never been in before and figured out how to get minute 1 of traveling on the subway under your belt without losing your mind and not knowing what the fuck was going on. Because I think I mentioned this in the last show, and if I didn't, I'm going to mention it now, and I'll probably mention it in the other fucking shows. They do not make it easy for you here. They don't have a lot of English, you know what I mean? It's not like there's English translations everywhere of stuff. There's numbers and colors and names, and you can put it all together once you're sitting down and looking at it. And then after a couple of days, you get the fucking hang of it. But in the beginning, even if you go to a guy and go, excuse me, he doesn't know English. They just fucking kind of look at you and you do a lot of pointing. And they're very polite and they're very patient, which is very nice. Although I'm sure when you walk away, they just kind of do that fucking hand-waking motion and be like, whatever the fuck, this goofy foreign idiot. So we have the Google Maps. I don't know how you can get around without them. I have no fucking clue if you didn't have them. But when you're walking on Google Maps, it has that kind of dotted line thing where you move up and down and you walk and you have to follow that, right? So we're in the mall and we're walking. He goes, it should fucking be here. Like, I don't understand. It says we're right here. So we're walking. We walk all the way down to the end of the mall. We walk back to another end. And this mall, by the way, it spirals off. Like, there's other alleys and entrances and exits. And so it's not like one straight line. So we walk down about halfway to the middle, like, of the mall. And he's like, no, we're farther away now. We got to go back. We go back to the front. We can't find it. And then I look, and there's a flight of stairs. And I go, and it says a barber shop downstairs, which I was like, dude, there's a barber shop. I want to see if they do shaves. Because, again, that's what I do is I go to foreign countries and I make them shave my face. It makes me feel colonial. All of a sudden, I'm like fucking Neville Chamberlain. I come to town. Where is your shaver? So I go, there's a flight of stairs. It's like a barbershop. And he goes, well, maybe do you think it's down there? I go, no. He goes, I'll bet it is. I go, I don't know. There's a barbershop. Let's go. So we walk down 3 flights of stairs. And by flights, I'm exaggerating. There's, 8 stairs, 8 stairs, 8 stairs. So we walk down there to a landing, walk to another landing, and walk down. Now we're in a fucking basement. And in this basement, there's nobody. I mean, there's no activity. There's no people at all. It's dead quiet. Upstairs, it's all fucking hustle and bustle and people shopping and, hawking kebabs and coin purses and bullshit and personalized chopsticks and nonsense and gongs. Not a lot of gongs. I haven't seen a gong yet. I'll be honest. I'll tell you what, because you'll know the minute I see a gong because I will immediately photograph it and post it on social media. I will be like, holy fuck, a gong. However, I did see Bob Fuckagong. I saw him here. Which was shocking. I didn't know he was in town. And I also saw Yvonne Goolagong. She was here. She's giving a tennis seminar. And Bob Fuckagong is there. He's managing her. You wouldn't think 2 people like that would meet one another, but sure enough, it makes complete sense that Bob Fuckagong would totally manage Yvonne Goolagong. So I wind up down in the basement. There's nobody there. It's a fucking ghost town. Japanese tumbleweed goes by. Girl from the Ring climbs out of a box. And there's nothing, man. And there's a storefront, and I see it. And I point at it, and I go, could that be it? It's just this nondescript storefront. There are literally beer cases and cardboard boxes stacked up outside of it. But it doesn't have doors. It has like a curtain. So, with a big Japanese character on it. And so we blow in. I open it up, and it's a fucking sushi bar. I mean, it is in a basement. It is tiny. How tiny? There's 6 seats at the sushi bar. There's 2 tables with 4 seats each. However, seat is a relative term depending on what part of the world you're in, because we get in there and I sit down on my side and I got to sit on both chairs. And look, I mentioned last show, I'm fat, but even regular Abdullah is like, yeah, this is a small chair. And Ahmad is a lanky, thin guy who's built like fucking Beaker from the Muppets, and he's just kind of like, yeah, what the fuck? But I got to spread over 2 of them for fuck's sake. Because I mean, again, this entire country is made of toys. So I sit down, they sit down, and remember I said it's not really easy with the English, that they kind of do that thing where they hope that you're going to know some Japanese, that kind of give you the cross-eyed look. How much English do you think they know in a basement sushi shop 24 steps down from the surface of the earth? Seriously, think about it. You've now descended into the core of the earth 24 steps. How much English do you think has made its way down into that fucking joint? So the answer is none. We walk in, and I will tell you this, he had a TV going, which was fucking perfect, and sumo wrestling on the television. Oh, I loved it. Just the fact that sumo wrestling's on TV here, and not like as a joke, not like as people going, ha, diapers. No, it's fucking badass athletic competition, and people love it. So we walk in, there's a guy sitting at the sushi bar, and then another guy walks in directly after us. He also sits at the sushi bar. And then 2 more people come in, and they sit at the table behind us. And I'm like, where the fuck were you people a second ago when there was nobody in the goddamn hallway? But we loved it because, again, I'm like, dude, if this joint's, you got to really dig to find this joint. And it was busy. The guy's fucking cooking, and it's one dude. I will tell you this. One sushi guy, older chef, got to be, I would say, probably about 58. And looked every second of it. Just a grizzled face, gray hair, kind of a crop top. And not a crop top, just a old man's hairstyle. And just the bony hands of a man who's formed fish into deliciousness for months and years and centuries. And so we sit down, and like I said, no English. Oh, we don't know anything. He's like, hi. By the way, if I start doing that when I'm with you or whatever, it just embeds itself into your consciousness. Hi. So we're like, hi. Arigato. Onegashimasu. So we sit down, and there's no menu. You know what I mean? You just basically tell the chef what you want. So we're like, And there is a menu over my shoulder. I realize that when I say no menu, they don't have anymore. There's one on the wall. And Ahmad sees it. He goes, that's the menu. I said, okay. And he goes, they have negitoro. He goes, I'm seeing negitoro. And I go, because it's Japanese characters. I go, how do you know that? He goes, well, I can read Japanese. What? How the fuck are you burying the lead on that? I thought it was all of our first trips. He's like, well, yeah, it is. And he goes, well, I said, well, how the fuck do you know that? Get this, dude. Fucking Khalid and Ahmad know Japanese. They can read Japanese characters from anime and video games. From years of reading anime, watching anime and playing video games, they know what Japanese characters mean. And I look at him, I go, you're not serious. He goes, yeah. And I'm like, holy son of a what, dude? Because that's an awesome victory. Because, I mean, again, I thought we're just going to all walk around like hat in hand and begging and pointing. But no, these fucking guys can kind of read Japanese. Not like they're not fluent. They can't fucking pour it all out. But he at first glance, he can look and tell you basically what something says. I'm like, holy goddamn. So he sees Negitoro. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. So I'm in. So he looks at you, hey, chef, tu Negitoro. And the chef says, ay, maki. And he rolled like a fake, rolls his hands. And we're like, yes, of course. So we're going to get a couple of sushi rolls with Negitoro. And again, it's just me and regular Abdullah and Ahmad. And, you figure there's 6 pieces in each fucking sushi roll in America. Probably 8 pieces, depending. But the all-you-can-eat joints, they give you 6 because you're eating over and over. But if you get a standard sushi roll in America, you get 8 pieces. So I'm like, a couple of those, 16. We'll bang 5 of those. It's just a quick lunch, whatever the fuck. The guys are eating kebabs and we'll meet them. So we sit there, we're talking. I filmed. This is something I posted from there. So you can actually see if you go to my Facebook. If you're in the Jokers Club, the Westside 86 Jokers, I think I posted it there. I don't know if I posted it on my regular page. But it is there for you to see. You'll get to see the inside of exactly what I just described, along with the menu in full Japanese characters. And as we're sitting there, like I said, a couple more people come in. They sit behind us. And fucking the chef makes us these rolls. He's like, hi. And he comes over and he puts them on the table. Now, like I said, in America, you can get by with 6 pieces in a sushi roll. But generally they give you 8 pieces because that's just the way it is. Well, this dude brings us 2 Negitoro rolls. And I should tell you what these rolls are. It's just maki. So it's just seaweed, rice, and Negitoro, which is the fish. And it's a fish that's kind of chopped up with scallions. It's like toro mixed all together with scallions. And it's, toro's fucking delicious tuna. Tuna belly, basically, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I think it is. I don't want to blow my sushi crud. But it's all chopped up. So it's minced, essentially, with scallion. So he brings us it's 2 sushi rolls. Dude, he brings us 2 full plates of sushi, of negi, toro, maki. And there's 30 pieces of sushi. They're 250, and I mean they're good sized pieces. They're not. He didn't fucking whack them up into tiny fruity pebbles. I mean these are fucking big, chunky pieces. So I look at Ahmad. I'm like, holy fuck! And I take a piece. I got my chopsticks out and I put it in my mouth. And you ever see the scene in Ratatouille where the critic eats the ratatouille at the end, and he's immediately transformed, and he's brought back to his childhood. And there's his mom, and that's the dish she made for him, and he's over his heels and he's in love with it. Well, I bit into this sushi, and it took me right to the beach. Not because I've ever had sushi at the beach, not because there's a sushi place I happen to like at the beach. I don't have any particular special sushi memories at the beach. However, it tasted like I had just put the ocean in my mouth. It was so, and this is the word I used. I said, this is so clean. And Ahmad goes, it is. That's a really good word. It was fucking clean. And also, the seaweed was different. Because I ate a lot of fucking seaweed back home. It's just different. I don't know how to describe it. I don't mean to be snobby dude or whatever, but it's just, it's home field advantage. These motherfuckers have home field advantage. For centuries, they knew it. They invented it. They make it. They know how to do it. It's like if you went, like I said, if you go to fucking New York, you get pizza or whatever. If you go to Chinatown, you get Chinese food. All these people know how to fucking make it. LA, you get tacos. In Chicago, you get fucking pierogies and deep dish pizza stuff. Everybody's got their thing. Sushi is fucking Japan's thing, and I couldn't wait to try it. Now, this wasn't even sushi. Like I said, it's a roll. It's maki. But holy fuck, it took me to the beach. I ate it with my eyes closed, and I could smell the beach. I could hear it. I could hear waves crashing and feel sand. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I'm being completely truthful. I ate it, and I could have eaten all 30 pieces myself, and there was a lot of fucking food there. So I had to force myself to kind of slow down. But I did. I savored every single piece, and every time I bit it, I saw a sunset, or I heard a wave, or I thought of walking hand in hand on the beach. I mean, it was just it was just, and again, I was never a beach guy until like 5 years ago. And then all of a sudden it became a place I really love and I want to be all the time. It's fantastic. And this brought me right there. Any second of happiness I've ever experienced at a beach was encased in these 30 pieces of sushi. It was almost like, 30, it was amazing. I don't want to, it was so good. So we finished that. We went upstairs. We, texted the guys. They showed up. We did some shopping, walked up and down, and it's starting to get dark. And when it gets, because it's 4 or 5 in the afternoon, it's getting dark now. 5 o'clock, I should say. But it didn't matter. It's all well lit, but still at the same time, you're like, nah, do we want to be out shopping? And it's going to get cold. And I only brought hoodies. But then you go, wow, fuck you, fucking Japan, man. Do this stuff. So we're walking up and down the shopping, and there's plenty to see. There was a bar called the Orange Bar. This made me laugh. It just said the Orange Bar, but it had a poster outside, and it was a 1984 Van Halen poster, and it said Van Halen is watching you, 1984. And I was like, son of a bitch, even in fucking Japan, Eddie and Michael and Alex have eyes on me. David too, and David lives here. I picture him walking down that place and seeing that fucking poster and then going in there and just singing karaoke with businessmen for 4 hours, because that's the kind of life David Lee Roth lives, because now he's kung fu. He's literally Robert Carradine in Kung Fu. He just walks around and he gets in adventures. So he is. And it's a fucking great life to have. So we walk around this mall and we're just... It wasn't even about Japan for me at that point. I mean, it was certainly, it's just because it's an outdoor market. So you're seeing things that you haven't seen before for sale. Kimono rentals. That's something you don't get a lot of back in the States. There were places that were renting kimonos. And then there were a lot of the young women in Japan. And I talked to... my friend Adam in Kyoto, who I will tell you about in a couple of days or maybe even tomorrow, he informed me that a lot of the young people are getting back to that style of dress. They're wearing not geisha outfits, but very colorful robes and wraps, and then the sandals with the weird socks that with the women wear. Traditional Japanese garb. He said a lot of young women are wearing that, and I said, well, it was very evident at the shopping place because we saw them all the time. And it's that thing where you want to walk over and take a photo. I will tell you this. Your first instinct is like, man, those girls are beautiful. That's fucking cool. I need to get a photo of that. And then in your head you have to go, hey, motherfucker, they're not a tourist attraction. They live here. And it's part of their tradition. It's not like they're dressed up in a costume to put on a performance. They're doing exactly what you're doing. They're out shopping. So you can't fucking gawk. So it's that, because again, you have to tamp down that initial instinct of, I got to get a photo of that. Those chicks look different. That's fucking ridiculous. But they looked amazing. And so the young people are wearing this garb, but also there's kimono rentals. And of course I take a photo of it and I'm like, I wonder if they got like a guy kimono rental. Like, can I get the whole fucking outfit, the samurai outfit and all that kind of bullshit and walk around? And then I'm like, are you just hoping to be the most racist man in fucking Japan? What the fuck is your problem? You're gonna go, what are you gonna get, a top knot now too? Shave your head and go top knot and then just wear the fucking samurai outfit and carry around a fake sword? Get the fuck out of here, man. You're not 8. But your mind goes to strange places. So we're walking around and looking. And again, Van Halen is watching me. I don't want to misbehave. That's the last thing I want to do. I want to do something clunky and racist here, and then fucking Eddie yells at me. That would be fucking terrible. But he'd give me fair warning before he did it. I'm sure he would, before he yelled at me or jacked me with the guitar, I would get fair warning. And then, Lord, he would strike this poor boy down. So we walk, we shop, we do stuff. And we get hungry because, again, sushi is kind of a quick thing. So it was one of the things Ahmad said we had to get was, he said we had to get melon buns. Now, you know me. I don't like melon. But I like things that taste like melon, that taste like watermelon. I don't like cantaloupe flavored shit. I don't want a honeydew. I don't want any of that bullshit. But if it tastes like watermelon, I'll get it. Fake watermelon, but I don't want real watermelon. I'm a weird person. But he had told me about the melon bun earlier in the day, and then we walked by and there's a store. And the melon bun, it's just the name of it it's because it's shaped like a melon. Okay, he tells me that it's like, it doesn't taste like melon, it's shaped like a melon. So we happen to go and there's a place selling sweets and they had sweetbreads and one of the breads was this bun. So we walked up and I was like, whoa, he's like, dude, there's the melon bun. And I looked at it and it's like a puffy, it's round, it's almost like a round croissant type of thing, but it's a sweetened bread. That's what it is. It's a sweet bread. I mean, that's all it is. It's a sweetened bread, but it's puffed up and it's got like a dome top. And it looks like the bottom of a shoe pattern, or almost like a tire tread. It's just got all that stuff. But it's also kind of puffy. So to me, I'm sitting there, and we get one, and we split it. And I said, and the guy was very nice, and he let me take a photo. And he's like, "Oh, I take a photo, please." And I took a photo of him in his shop. And because I tell you what, here's another thing too. You know the goofy cliche of like Asians and Japanese people come to America and they take 1 million photos? Guess what? I don't know how true that is. I don't want to lend any credence to that. I will tell you this, though. I'm living that stereotype right now in Japan. My phone, I think I've taken so far, I'm going to, at careful estimate, I'm going to say 300 photos, but I think it's more than that. And that talks videos, photos, the whole fucking nine. And I stop and take a photo of everything because of this. There are so many things in this country that are eminently photographable or whatever the fuck. Picturesque. I don't know. They just exist to be captured and remembered. I mean, I'll remember them in my head and my heart forever, but yet it's also cool to be able to refer to something and go, oh, I remember that. That was a fucking street sign that looked like gangster crossing. That's totally true. They got a sign and it's like a dude. You know, actually, even more than a gangster, because I thought of that in a Japanese term. It looks like Yakuza crossing because it's a dude with a hat, like a gangster hat on. I was like a fedora or a trilby. I don't want to fucking know what hats are. But if you head in America, and because again, this is the reference. I'm 50 years old, okay? Please ignore me. But I'm 50. Young people will not get this, but anybody my age will. Literally, this sign looks like Art Carney Crossing or Ed Norton Crossing. See, if I would have said Ed Norton, you guys would have been like the actor. No, I have to say Art Carney Crossing because this fucking silhouette looks like Art Carney from the Honeymooners with the stupid hat on. So when I saw it, I took a photo of it. I'm like, yay. And then there's another sign, and I don't even know what the fuck this is. I think it was a sign at a crosswalk, and I think it was make sure you hold your child's hand as you cross the crosswalk. But then the person who drew it drew 2 alien life forms connected via tentacle. I will show it to you. It's this weirdly misshapen, tall, I guess, female character. And instead of holding hands, its arm just seamlessly melds with the arm of the smaller being next to it. And I guess that means be safe in the crosswalk. Be safe in the crosswalk, or else these aliens will come together and join their death pods together via tentacle and blow up the entire country. But you know me. But so that's the things. I take photos of street signs and any goofy street name and any fucking dude in this country. So like I said, eminently capturable. You go into the subway. I saw one today and I took a picture of it, and it just looks like well-dressed elephants go this way. Crying police elephants go this way. I don't know what it means, but it's an elephant. It looks the water's coming out of his trunk, I guess. So it's like, you know, spraying police elephants go this way and well-dressed elephants to the left. I took a picture. It had a policeman's silhouette and a little girl, and the policeman has essentially like he's dangling what looks to be about 3 feet, you know, in obviously in scale, 3 feet of wire with a hat at the end of it. And it looks like if you want to fish for little girls, the best bait is hat. However, what it means is if you drop your hat on the tracks, please get a guard, and he will have this really long fishing pole that will scoop your head off of certain death. I think. And again, that's just me, and that's my perception of it. It could truly mean when fishing for little girls, best bait is hat. I don't know. But I take photographs of that. I take photographs of every silly thing because there's always a mushroom in this country or a marshmallow or something telling you what to do or what you shouldn't do. There's another one for the subway, and I took a picture of it. It's just got a big fat guy standing in front of the door, and everybody's like squeezing around him. They're trying to get off the train, and he's kind of like, I will keep you trapped on the train as I text. And that was just a sign to tell you, please don't text or stand in the way of people getting on and off the fucking train. But I captured it because I'm like, oh, well, look, they made a sign about me. There is fat guy blocking doorway. FGBD. So what the fuck was I talking about? All right, so we're at the shopping joint and we're walking and we're looking at whatever we can. We're going up and down and we go the melon bun. That's what the fuck I was talking about. So we get the melon bun and we start walking. And I said to Damon, I go, you know what? This thing kind of looks like a mushroom cloud. And he starts laughing. And then there's a sign and it says established off the top, I think 1945. This bakery was established in 1945. I go, dude, fuck this guy. This guy came into power after the war and after the terrible devastation that was fucking wreaked havoc in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And then he's made a delicious pastry to forever people remember the mushroom cloud that destroyed both of those cities. I go, that's probably not the way to go. However, you know what? He's been around since 1945, so what the fuck do I know? Maybe people like eating some symbol of their former destruction. I got no clue. That would be like selling, you know what? If that was the case, you know what? I can't be mad about that. Fuck you. Make a mushroom cloud bun to commemorate Hiroshima and Nagasaki. That's a good move. Because I'll tell you what, in America, that would be like saying after 9/11, we had to ban double popsicles. No more double popsicles. It reminds people of the towers coming down. And we can't have that. I got a lot of rules about dessert and disasters. So, you know what? I'm going to open Disaster Desserts. I'm going to have just melon buns and double fucking popsicles. Twin popsicles and melon buns. I'll call it Disaster Desserts. So, God, this mini-soda's gone maxi. So we walk down, we're shopping, we get our melon bun, and then out of nowhere, man, we're walking, and I see stuff in the background, like I'm looking, and it's like, the traditional Japanese architecture, and it's a brilliant red and gold. It's a tower. And as we're walking toward it, I go, guys, we gotta, dude, this is the stuff I came to see. Because I'll tell you this, the first night, I didn't even mention this, when we went out walking to kind of explore, and I told you we want to be eating Korean noodles, the guys are walking, and they're just, it was cold, so they're trying to get to a place to eat. And I mean, they walked right past a fucking temple in the middle of our neighborhood. I have a great photo of it. I took a photo of the school for it, and it's just a temple on the street. And I said to the guys, I go, you missed a fucking temple. Like, I'm right there. It looked amazing. Old school. And I got the photo. I took the photo of the sign. So we're walking. Yawn. Sorry, it's late. And I see this tower, this red and gold tower. And I'm kind of like, guys, no, guys, we got to go over here. I'm heading toward that. And they're just like, oh, that might go. So they follow me. And I go, and as we get closer to the red and gold tower and emerges, there's a much larger temple on the same grounds. And much larger, first of all, much larger than the temple I saw the previous night, but also much larger than the tower itself. I mean, it is a huge, huge structure. So as I see it, I'm like, dudes, no. And Ahmad is like, yeah, that's where we were going. Like, what do you mean? He goes, yeah, that was the plan. Like, we were going to walk. That was why we walked through this area in this shopping center, because I knew this temple was close to where we live. See, I told you, Ahmad is the dad of the trip. He's totally got everything squared away. And I didn't even know. I'm just like, guys, look, guys, look, guys. And they all knew you were going here because Ahmad told them, we're going to find the red and gold temple and Mike's going to go batshit. So we walk down and there's all these people just hanging out at the temple. And there's first of all, there's a couple of dudes like these. They're the guardians of the temple grounds. They look like devils. And I took photos of them. I took photos. And the tower that I mentioned it's also on the temple grounds, but it must be affiliated because it's the same color and structure. But I took a photo of that. I went and I started taking all these photos of the temple. And I will tell you this, there's swastikas everywhere here too on the temples. Because, before cocksucker Hitler came along and took that, it was a symbol of peace. And it was this religious symbol. And I thought it was Indian in nature, but perhaps it's also Asian, or it's just Asian and the Indians co-opted it, or vice versa. I got no fucking clue. All I know is I knew it wasn't always terrible. Until fucking Hitler slicked his hair back and threw it on a couple of guns. So, he called up his guy, and they made a flag with it, and they started killing people and wiping up the blood with that fucking flag. Everybody went, fucking swastika's awful. Meanwhile, these guys have got temples from the 16th century with the swastikas all over going, hey, what the fuck, man? It's terrible. So we're walking around, we're looking, and then there's the temple itself, and there's a line outside the temple. And so, like I said, we're photographing everything. We're looking at the guardians of the temple. I take their photo. I walk in, I see the line, and I get in the line. And I realize it's people there extending offerings to try, whatever, for their lives, their families, whatever. And then throwing money into a well. So I wait in line, and the guys laugh at me, of course. But the line moves fairly briskly. But you get to the front, and then I notice, so I watch again, I'm not fucking Joe Bible. And then I don't think anybody here is Joe Bible, quite frankly. But I'm not Ichiro Bible either. Or I don't even know I'm not Ichiro Buddhist Tome. I don't know. But I see the guys in front of me, and I see them lining up and then tossing some coins in, and then they just bow their heads and they solemnly say some stuff. So to themselves. They don't say it out loud, because that would be very solemn if you're barking out your prayers at everybody, hoping that fucking Ichiro Bible comes along with a magic wand and taps you on the hat. You got to fucking let that shit gel in your brain, because Ichiro Bible reads your fucking mind. You know that. We all know that. So comes my turn, and I look at my handful of stuff, and I got a bunch of 100 yen coins. By a bunch, I mean like 5. And then I got a couple of 500 yen coins. And then I got all the smaller ones. Some of their coins have holes in them out here, which is fucking bananas. So stupid me. Here's what I do. I don't care much about my prayers, apparently, because I pick out all the 1 yens and the 10 yens, and then anything with a hole in it. And I'm like, all right, this should be good enough for Ichiro Bible. And I lob it into the grate. Clang, clang, clang. It goes down. I bow my head. I say some thank yous, and then I say some hopes. And like I said, I don't know who it's to. If anybody heard it, good for me. So I turn and I walk away, and then I got to walk down the temple steps, which with my knees is a fucking trick. And I walk down, and then there's a swastika, like an actual big swastika on a piece of artwork. And Khalid is like, you got to get a picture with that. I'm like, seriously? He goes, yes, you must take a picture. So he takes pictures of me, and then I take some selfies of me with the swastika, and I'll post those as well. You'll see those. God, and I even said, I go, dude, this is the photo I'm going to put up. It's going to go viral. Like, I mean, everything else is going to get fucking ignored, but someone's going to find a picture of me with a swastika doing the stew look next to it, and everybody's going to go, ha ha, we knew it. But I got to post it. Fuck it, who cares? I'm ready for the heat. I'll take the heat. So I refuse to get out of your fucking kitchen. How about that? So we walk away, and then they go, Mike, you must come over. You must come over. And I go, what do you mean? And they go, there's a fortune. You must get a fortune. And I go, I just fucking gave Ichiro Bible, a bunch of holy coins. And they're like, no, it's over here. You must to play. So Abdullah brings me over there, regular Abdullah, and I go, and it turns out that there's this weird fortune telling contraption. So it's a huge wall with a bunch of symbols. All right, and it's amazing. There are all these intricately carved Japanese characters into all of these wooden pieces. And what you do is you take 100 yen and you put it in that's your offering, and you put it in the thing in a slot of this giant structure that has all the intricately carved stuff. And you shake a metal tube. You spin it because there's sticks in it with your fortune. Spin, 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 spin. And then I dump it out. You dump it out, and your fortune comes out. When it comes out, it's a stick, and it has a set of Japanese characters on it. And you have to match it to the little symbols on the wall, because they are all little drawers that contain your fortune. Now, in China, you get a fucking cookie. Here, you got to pay 100 yen. You shake up a giant fucking fortune shaker. You dump it out, and then you open a drawer, and you get a little fucking fortune. It's amazing. So I do that, and actually I filmed this. It's on the Joker's page, but I shake it up, I dump it out, I look at the characters. Ahmad, who of course can read Japanese because he's a genius, sees it, and he's like, that's the one right there. I open it up, I pull out this slip of paper. Folks, it says, you have a bad fortune. And I can't remember the rest of it. I read it on the clip. You'll be able to see it on the Joker's page, but it just said... It said, bad fortune, and then it said bad things will come to you, and you must expect them. I mean, it was a terrible forecast for what's going to happen to me in the coming years. And I'm like, oh, this is fucking awful. And all the guys are laughing, ha ha ha, hilarious. And Abdullah got it, he got like a neutral fortune. One of the guys got a good fortune. And they go, if you don't want the bad fortune, you have to go over and you tie to, there's a fence, and you got to tie, and why am I imitating these fucking guys? They can't even hear me through the goddamn door. I can go ahead and tie it to a what looks kind of like an upside down harp. It's just a bunch of metal wires, and it's clotheslines for the bad fortunes. So you go over, you tie your bad fortune to it, and that secures that you're leaving it in your past, I guess. I don't fucking know the rules. But they're laughing, and so I go and I twist it up, and they film me. And then we turn the camera off, and I go to walk away, and I'm like, man, that cost me 100 yen for a bad fucking fortune. They're like, yeah, and I go, and I gave Ichiro Bible a bunch of holy coins on the steps before I got the bad fortune. So you know what? Ichiro Bible's got no fucking stroke in this town. I thought he did for sure. I fucking gave that guy a bunch of ones, a couple of tens, and a couple of holy coins. And what does he do? He throws me the bad fortune my way like 5 minutes fucking later. So apparently, I will tell you this, Ichiro Bible does not care for the holy coins. He is not on board with that, and he knew what I gave. My offering was terrible. I bowed my head and said solemn thanks and shit like that. You know what I got out of it? Bad fucking fortune. Thanks a lot, Ichiro Bible. That seems like a good place to end the mini-sode. Let's do that. All right, guys, you can get me at MikeandMikeSchmidtComedy.com. You can find me at Facebook.com/the40-year-old boy. It'll be the mini-sode fucking hour. All right. The 40-year-old boy. What was that? What did I just say? Oh, Twitter. You can follow me at Twitter.com/the40-year-old boy. Be my friend at Facebook.com/the40-year-old boy. And follow me at Instagram and Snapchat. And dudes, today I put up like fucking 30 Snapchats. So follow me. I mean, I don't know if you're on there because you could be old, but tell your kids to follow me too. I'm only swearing a lot. And you're not going to see my cock or anything like that. I'm not that guy. But I just put up a ton. Snapchat I like is you can put up these fucking 5-second things or 10-second things. So that's real quick when you're just walking across the street and you're like, holy shit, look at that sign. Because otherwise, I got to film it, I got to put it on YouTube and all that kind of garbage. And I know Gio's pissed at me right now. He's like, motherfucker, don't tell people that YouTube's garbage. It's not garbage. But I'm just saying I want to do things quick, and Snapchat really lends itself to that. Unfortunately, it all disappears in a fucking day. So Go friend me on Snapchat, follow me, be my pal, and check that stuff out. And Instagram too. Like I said, I've put stuff on Instagram, I put stuff on Facebook, I put stuff on Snapchat. I'm even tweeting some stuff from here. But that was day one, man. And it was fantastic and unbelievable time was had by all. We fucking loved it. And I will be back tomorrow at some point. Like I said, with the time difference, you'll get it sometime on, it's because it's right now morning Saturday, so you might get it late Saturday, early Sunday. I don't know. It depends on when I get to fucking sit down, because I don't want to go into the plans we have for tomorrow. I know we're out the door early because we're out the door early today. We're out the door early tomorrow. But yeah, so follow me on those places. And again, like I said, I can't stress this enough. Please subscribe to the YouTube page. I did my first YouTube thing today. I did a live stream from a place in Tokyo. I don't want to give it away. And what the fuck? I was at a restaurant in Tokyo. So we live streamed. It's only like 4 minutes long. I need to start putting bite-sized ones on there because it'll be easier for you guys to watch. I know not everybody's got 4 minutes to sit there and watch a fucking clip. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but I get it. So, I mean, if I put up a bunch of quick hitters, it might be easier for you guys to watch that stuff. And that's great. I even tried it later with because the YouTube thing. It was really surprisingly easy to record through YouTube and have it posted. The only thing is the setting it up really quick, because I wanted to do something really quickly. And like I said, for Snapchat's super quick. I just fucking hold a button down. YouTube, you got to go. It wants a title. It wants a thumbnail. It wants, there's like 5 different steps. So recording something in 5 seconds is a no-go on YouTube. So they're always going to be a little bit longer, but I'll try to keep them shorter so you guys have more time to consume them. But right now, please subscribe to the YouTube page. Thank you to everybody who stepped up. I think I got like 40 new subscribers in just the last couple days, and we're well on our way. I've got to get 300 more within 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I think. Or it was 30 days. It was 30 days from the day I got the email. So, I don't know, fucking 25 days. But I got to get 300 more people in order to keep monetizing the YouTube page. So please go to YouTube, even if you don't watch it very much. Just please go there and subscribe, because if I get over 1,000 subscribers, then I can continue to monetize. And if you want to watch stuff, that's great. If you don't, that's great. I'll be putting more stuff up here on Facebook. Well, not videos, but I'm going to put all the videos and stuff will be on YouTube, and you'll be able to see them through there and follow along with this journey. But that was the end of day one. That wasn't exactly the end of day one. We wound up, after we left the temple, you have to walk back through the fucking shopping center. So as we're walking through, we saw a place that did caricatures. And to me, again, I just think it's ridiculous. In Japan, in America, caricatures, Mex and I joke about it all the time. It's, your giant head as you roller skate, or you and your girlfriend holding hands and playing volleyball, or it's always some ridiculous thing, because there's a trick to doing caricatures. I don't know it because I'm not an art guy. I couldn't fucking sit down and draw you with a big smile driving a fucking convertible down Malibu, whatever the fuck. But so to me, I'm jaded. I'm like, caricatures are fucking stupid. But we walked by it, and there's a place called Caricature Japan. And there was a little girl named, I think her name was Rocky, R-A-K-I, or R-A-K-I, and she's out there yelling, yeah, onegaishimasu, and she's not, and the Khalid and Mohammed and fucking regular Abdullah are like, hey, let's go in there. And in my head, I'm like, why? What the? All right, cool. Because I'm a yes. I mean, I'm like, yeah, cool, let's go. But I also don't understand it. But we walk in, we look around at some stuff, and there's, they got a drawing of Trump outside. They got all the sorts of drawings of political figures, and then they got on the walls all the people who've stopped in. And the guys decide they want a fucking caricature. So, not Ahmad. Me and Ahmad sat out to the side, and Mohammed and regular Abdullah and Khalid sat down in a fucking love seat together, and she drew them. And it was so funny to me. There's no language there. I mean, she didn't know much English, and they didn't know any Japanese, but they knew what they wanted. They kind of told her. She would say silly, fun, mean. She would say one word, and this international language between them of art, and it just worked. And I laughed again. Like I said, I got no fucking interest in Caricature Japan, but holy fuck, they're getting drawn and they're loving it. And then she turns the thing around, and it's a silly caricature is what it is, because that's what they asked for. We want a silly caricature of the three of us, and then they got it put in a frame, and they were so excited. And again, it's another different thing between me and these guys. Like, to me, I'm just like, it's fucking dumb. Who the fuck's gonna waste their time with that? Who wants to get a caricature? And Mex is the same goddamn way. But these guys thought it was the funnest thing and the coolest, and he wants to go back there, and Muhammad wants to possibly have her do a caricature of his son. And maybe they don't have that in Kuwait. Maybe, you know what? Maybe that's what we need to do. Maybe I need to get Mex on board get him here to Japan and start drawing caricatures. Well, you know what? Actually, fuck that. They got enough people here. They got Rocky. She's running the whole deal. I got to get Mex to Kuwait. That's where the money is, because these guys were fascinated by it and they framed the fucking thing. We got to get Mex. We open a fucking art shop there and he's out there drawing caricatures. This is fucking perfect. We get him on board and he goes ahead and draws, because literally there's nothing out there but Pakistanis and Indians and rubble. So you just draw those guys. That's easy. And then all the rich Kuwaitis come in. How many different ways are there to draw a fucking sheik? Mex, it's easy money. Fucking follow me, man. Let's go to Kuwait, open up a caricature joint. I'll be barking outside like Rocky was. We'll get in there, you'll lean 4 Kuwaiti words, and the next thing you know, you draw some fucking sheiks riding around on a goddamn bike. Now, I'll say this initially, once you hand it to them, because it's going to take them getting used to it, because some of them are fascinated, like the guys who are my friends. But if a sheik gets in there, there's a good chance that Sharif won't like it. Look at that. I just brought that out of fucking nowhere for no reason at all. I just go ahead and drop a fucking Clash reference on you. And then why? Because for no reason.
There's nothing lonelier than being trapped inside yourself. It's easier to hide when you pretend you're the knight. Women love a guy with a giant neck.
We here, we are playing on a level that most will never see. Never see. Never see. Never see. Never see. Never see.